discussing vegetables, cactus seedlings, cactus seeds. I have a bunch of cactus seeds here that I want to discuss today on the stream. I brought a little cactus that I have been treating in my ICU. I want to discuss that. And yeah, I hope you guys are all right. Had a great time since yesterday. Great to be back. I'm a little late. I was talking to the police about the local thing where they found, like where they were looking for people who have seen stuff, like locally. And I live in the area where something happened, and I want to discuss that. A little bit worried, things are going on where I live, and yeah, so I'm a little bit unrelaxed about it. I wrote about it on Facebook if you want to see what's going on. But yeah, apart from that, welcome to my stream. Great to have you. I'm a little late today. I'm a little, yeah, just, every now and then something happens locally that shakes you up. And this is what happened, like, in the last couple of weeks or so. I don't want to involve it on the stream, but I just want to say I'm mentally a little bit shaken up still. So yeah, great to have you guys. Great to be back. Let's do some cactus stuff. Unfortunately, I have realized that I probably mixed the seeds that I've been cleaning here. Next time I'm cleaning something, I will bag it right away, not wait longer. In this case, I waited so long, and then I'm cleaning up, and you pick something up like a paper towel, the paper towel that had the seeds, and it. So yeah, in the future, I want to keep a closer eye on the seeds when I clean them, and instantly bag them, because otherwise I forget, and then I try to clean the table up, and everything gets bad from there. So yeah, let's open the containers. Let's have a look what happened in the last few days since we opened them. In general, the seedlings look good. I'm quite happy with them right now. We have lost a few. In my opinion, every breeder loses seedlings. If they don't tell you, they are usually not honest. But what we have so many seedlings that we are running out of space very soon. So yeah, let's have a look. Hope you guys are all right. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. And if not, I'm just opening the containers and discuss the seedlings. Oh, and by the way, I started posting time-lapse videos again. I'm not sure if you've seen it already. I posted one earlier. I also posted on Facebook and Instagram. And within minutes, I had some kind of company claim all my income from that video that I posted because of the song. Sometimes, like when you post something on Facebook or Instagram, you can use their integrated, the music system that they have for the reels. So I put up a song, and like I said, within minutes, some company claimed 100%. On YouTube, like when I do something like that, when I post, it's usually something like 50%, Imagine you are posting a video, like in this case, it was a time-lapse video with a flower, and they don't even want to give you 1% of the income, just because you used the song. So I said, no, I removed that thing, and in the future, if necessary, I will only post my time-lapse videos with music. At the very least, I'm happy with 50%. I believe that the music is really important. But yeah, hey mate, thank you. I'm sorry, I will get to all the comments after. I just wanted to discuss this quick, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Great to have you. Yeah, I started posting the time-lapse videos again, and I find the music very important. It's a combination, you watch the video, you watch that flower opening up in time lapse, and with the right music, it can be great. It can be a great combination. But I just find it outrageous when you do, like, when I filmed that video that I posted today. I think it took me 2 days and 2 nights to film it, you know, like with the electricity costs. I have the light on all the time. I have the smartphone like on the charger all the time. And it was so much work. Then the editing, and then you post it and you want to claim 100% of the income, you know. I found that really wild. So yeah, I'm not doing it like that anymore. In the future, I might have to pick other songs. It might not be the very best, like the most famous ones, but I try to pick good ones. I'm just reading a comment, you know. Yeah, but this is pretty not the kind of stuff that I have. So I gotta clean up the chat a little bit here. Just removing hateful conduct, you know, not having that here. I'm sorry. But welcome, guys. Great to have you. Great to have you. Yeah. So yeah, that was what happening with the time-lapse videos. I will post more. I filmed a good 50 time-lapse videos last year, and I will post them slowly, one after the other. We're discussing cactus seedlings. This is a cactus stream. I brought a lot of cactus seedlings that we have been sowing out, and today I will open them all up. We're discussing all the little seedlings that I brought here. Check them out. Yeah, and they all have different kind of flowers, really interesting kind of cacti, often with very large 20-centimeter kind of flowers. These will be great, but we have to wait 5 to 7 years until they are big, and this is the beginning. Maybe in 5, 6, 7 years, you will see us here with the flowers that we have planted just recently, just a couple of months ago. It's a great hobby that I recommend to everyone who just randomly stumbles upon it. If you ever saw like a big flower in front of you, that's really impressive. Some of the cactus hybrids that I have here, they have huge flowers, and it's so impressive when you see it in front of you. You can't really compare it to when you see it on a photo. It's really nice. So check it out. So let's discuss some of the seedlings. These here, very young, just recently, you know, just germinated recently, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Where are you from? I was born in Germany. I was born in Saarland, Germany. It's like the little French area of Germany. Heavily influenced by the French. French kitchen, a lot of good food, nice hardworking people. But yeah. So yeah, let's continue. And greetings to New Zealand. I love that, you know. I'm friends with so many people from Australia and New Zealand. Some of my cacti are growing there. This here is from a hybrid with huge orange flowers, like a cross between Flying Saucer and Cantora Gelb. Flying Saucer hybrid between a Sörensia and a Schickendanzi. Schickendanzi is now also included in the same genus, but at the time the original cross was Trichocereus schickendanzi crossed with Sörensia hybrid, something like that. And yeah, that one's involved here, huge orange flowers, and I try to somehow get something interesting out of the next generation. These are just at the beginning. They need to stay in the bag for now for a good 2 months, 2-3 months. If I would just take them out of the bag now, they would probably not make it. But apart from that, they look good. I'm happy with them. Seedlings look healthy, green, which you can't really take for granted these days. You know, sometimes you have plants that start off coming out of the seed corn and are variegated already. These here look pretty good. So let's continue. Put these aside. I will do the bigger seedlings first, and then we will discuss the ones that I've sown out. And I'm always happy to take questions. within limits, you know, of the platform and of like good manners, not like that other guy earlier. So yeah, these here looking good, but too many, so they need to be singled out eventually. But healthy cactus seedlings, I really like that. They are at the size where I can take them out of the bag, and I think I would do it. The bigger they are, the higher the risk that at some point something with the soil will fail. You know, sometimes you see seedlings, and you kind of, you know, that they are that the soil has an expiration date, and I've been seeing that expiration date with this soil for a while. At some point, you need to take them out of humidity, to let the soil dry out in between on a regular basis. That is always good. So these come out now, and I wanna also fertilize them later today maybe, and they will, I'm sure they will respond very well when they get the first fertilizer. They haven't been fertilized yet. Okay, let's continue. These are looking good, starting to grow. But again, one thing that really stands out here is the lack of space. I'm just working low budget, have very little space. Like the grow space outside, I constantly have to fight to get all my plants in the greenhouses. And yeah, in the next couple of years, we need to sort out a lot. We can't keep them all. So we are growing a lot, but we're only keeping the best. So in this case, they will need to be singled out very soon. Apart from that, everything okay. They need a little bit more water. So I will get the tray that I have here, so I can water them without causing a huge mess on the desk. I brought a little water here. Yeah, and in between, I'm also spraying them every day. They get water three times a day with a water sprayer, and fertilizer maybe 2 or 3 weeks, every 2 or 3 weeks. But since there are always some that I haven't fertilized yet, I fertilize all the time, but I don't fertilize the same ones every time, you know? I usually start fertilizing when I take them out of the bag, because that makes it a little cleaner. That allows me to have a little bit more control of the soil. Because what if you start fertilizing soil in a bag that is in humidity, you can get a lot of problems with pests, with weeds, all kind of things that compete with the seedlings. So yeah, here weird color is what stands out for me. But they have been getting fertilizer. They couldn't actually have a really bad nutrient deficiency right now with the fertilizer that they've been getting. So either this will disappear slowly, like, you know, sometimes it takes a while until a nutrient deficiency really disappears. I've had plants that needed years for that kind of yellowish growth to disappear. So maybe this will change over the next 2 or 3 months. For now, I'm not really happy with them. This could be variegation. Let's see what it's Born to be Wild sister. Good seedlings. Really interesting kind of parentage here. The soil is still a little bit wet. Nonetheless, I water again because I touched it, and the soil feels so firm, you know, like too firm. Sometimes when the soil dries out, it loses the ability to be flexible, and little seedlings can use a little bit of flexibility from the soil. So I try to get it back by putting in a little bit more water, by pressing against the soil. I like how these look. They have a healthy green color. Really like that. Some smaller seedlings in between. My opinion, that is monstrous growth or something like that. Crested maybe. When you get two entirely different types of seedling in a container. And in this case, yeah, I try to get the smaller seedlings, like the ones that are behind. I'm actually interested in them because that, like the fact that they are so behind could mean that they have an interesting kind of mutation, some sort of a different type of growth that just takes longer to grow, to appear. So we will see how that will go. Let's see if the soil is wet or not. Yeah, this still has humidity. I don't want to overdo it because we're also fighting against fungus gnats. So check out these here. Let's see what it is. These are little cactus seedlings that we've sown maybe two months ago on the stream. You can really go back and watch at it from the beginning. Little cactus seedlings growing from the first days until this point. They are not so far away from being big enough that we might actually say for sure that we can get them to a large size safely. You know, you often lose them early on, and these are already a little bit bigger. They are already beyond that point where it's super dangerous. I feel like we have good chances here. And these are from Uwe Kahle, German hybrid breeder, one of the best. Really one of the best. Hybrid cross from 2024. A hybrid called Cactus. KA 2024 167. So I will water them. The soil looks too dry. Also, they are too deep in the pot. At this point, it's hard to correct that. But the moment you try to lift the seedlings up, you can kind of break the whole thing apart, and then you really need to single them out. At this point, it can be beneficial to just leave them the way they are, despite the fact that they don't get a lot of light there. I mean, compared to when the seedlings are a little bit higher up, it's just it makes a difference. And if you have wet soil down there, it can really make a difference between having, like, losing seedlings due to fungal infections or not. So yeah, this is good. I will put this one aside. Here's one that's still in the bag, relatively young probably, but this could be one of the seedlings that is just small because it hasn't grown, like the seedlings haven't grown a lot. Yeah, they look very small, but you can't really, like, this isn't super young age because they've been around for a while. They are in the original first soil that we use on the stream, in the first months or two when we did that. So from the beginning, and the seedlings have not grown a lot. Some of them have a reddish discoloration. That is usually stress, indicator for stress, indicator for dehydration, indicator for low temperatures. In this case, yeah, they might have not gotten all the humidity that they would want to have under the lamp. These are under a relatively affordable plant lamp, but it's enough to make the cactus seedlings grow. It's not absolutely essential to have a lamp, so don't really, if you don't consider this a deal breaker. If you really want to grow cactus seedlings, it will work without. Or you could really, if you want one, there are little lamps for like $10-15 that you could use that will also work with the cactus seedlings. You know, they don't really need that excessively strong light. You can grow them even in front of a window. in the beginning, you have them in, you know, they don't even take so much light. You need to be a little bit careful that you don't do something that where you lose the seedlings in the first months. They are very easy to lose. In this one, the seedlings are too far off, like too much in the center, in the corner. Apart from that, yeah, I would love to start fertilizing them. I don't like the color. Color isn't perfect. Like usually when you should see a healthy green. In this case, it feels a little bit off. But this could be like variegation. Variegation often comes out in seedlings in the type of hybrid crosses that I do. I just try crosses that I haven't seen a lot before. Or if I repeat a cross that is common, then I at least try to put in my own, you know, own influence to change something that makes it unique again. Sometimes I introduce a columnar cactus in a hybrid where that hasn't been done before, just to get that interesting kind of hybrid that that has been like where you only find one or two that have ever been made. You know, like sometimes you have a hybrid that is so obscure that it might not have, that nobody might have made one like that before. Apart from that, yeah, I would probably have to transplant them very soon. I don't like that. I don't like the color, and I can't take them out because they are still too small. They haven't really grown much, which is something that I, you know, it stands out. It's something that I look at as a trait. But I also know that sometimes it pays off to have patience with cactus seedlings that are different. Like when I was younger, I was very different, you know, and it paid off to believe in me for a little longer. And I would want to do the same. I would want to express the same courtesy to the cactus seedlings that I grow. So they will get a little bit more time. I will leave them in the bag, but at some point, we might have to do something here. At the very least, we might have to fertilize. So let me see. I might actually be able to transplant the seedlings here. So I brought me a little pot of water so I can clean up like the little square pots that I'm using. I really want them to be clean and not have any kind of pathogen in them. I don't want to bring mealybug into the house, so I'm very careful about when I'm reusing pots, disinfecting them with alcohol, sometimes with hot water, that kind of stuff. Some other seed, like if I only had something inside the house here with the seedlings, then I'm not so paranoid about catching something, but it can really happen very fast. And mealybug is a horrible pest to have, especially indoors. Hey Dave, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. How are you doing? Hope everything's all right. It's been a busy last couple of days. And I've been, it's been raining nonstop, and I've been trying to scrub the greenhouses. Greenhouses let in so much light that I already saw the first sunburn. Like this morning. This morning I already brought, like took a plant down from the top shelf because I saw that they are getting more light now from cleaning the windows. Really excessively clean now. So I need to be very careful. The moment we will get sunny days, they will have a hard time in there. I consider putting up a shade cloth. Okay, so I have clean soil here. This is sowing soil. good basic all-rounder for cactus seedlings. And in this case, it will give the seedlings a little bit more nutrients. Because the point is I can't take them out yet. They are just too small. Some of them are too small. Some of them are big enough. But I'm not really seeing that with a lot of the other seedlings. So let me I brought a piece of wood. And now I want to move them into the new soil. Watering this a little bit. Let the water sink. This will happen a few times. In the beginning, the soil needs to have the right humidity, right consistency. And if the soil is too dry, you can't really work well with it. You can work with it, but it doesn't really go well. So yeah, always happy to take questions. If you are growing cactus seedlings at home, let me know. I'm happy to help if you have trouble. If not, we're just going through everything again. I still have a lot of seedlings that I brought from the last couple of months. I think I'm halfway through, and later I will continue. I just want to transplant the cactus seedlings here because I can't leave them in that, We could now start fertilizing, which is a real option. It's not too late, we might still fertilize them. But it's just something that I not really love to do, because the moment this is in humidity, you will have moss, some sort of a moss growing on the soil. It also is nutrients for pests that you can suddenly get that you wouldn't have before. I always wait a little fertilizing the seedlings. So yeah, we'll see. The soil is not ready yet, so that gives me a little time to think. In this container, I think I see 3 or 4 seedlings that actually have a safe size, where you could take them out of the bag already. There's no really a firm rule regarding the bag, but I really try to leave them in such a more humid environment for a good 2 or 3 months. If in doubt and nothing happens, just leave them in a little longer. I often lost seedlings when I try to adjust them, get them used to the normal setting, like to the normal indoor humidity from one day to another. Give yourself time, give the seedlings time, and then if in doubt, leave them in a little longer. It doesn't hurt them. It's just at some point it can be good to change the soil, to repot. I believe in repotting cactus seedlings very often. That often makes sure that the soil where they are in has the right pH level. It's just not so easy to grow plants and not long-term screw up the pH level. The constant watering, when you're using fertilizer, it just adds up. So yeah, I would try to carefully transplant the cactus seedlings here. Check it out. This is how tiny they are. Tiny little root here. And I'm carefully trying to get them in the soil. And again, I posted more cactus time-lapse videos. Another one yesterday. I already uploaded it in the evening. But I had forgotten to put it like to change the status to public. But now you can see it. So check it out. It's a really nice one with multi-hybrid called Gold Rose. Hartmut Kellner hybrid. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm just moving the little cactus seedlings in their new home carefully, and they are so small. Everything can be too much here. I'm especially careful not to hurt the root system that they have. When I transplant, I always take great care that the root doesn't rip off. That can be a deal breaker. That's like their one lifeline that you shouldn't damage. So I'm really careful about it. Very often when you suddenly see a seedling that expires, the reason is that you accidentally damage the root. You often, the seedling looks completely normal, but since it's no longer having a root, it will slowly, at some point, it will just like expire, be gone. So yeah, I will kind of distribute the seedlings a little bit more evenly in this container. Trying to spread them out a little. And in this case, I'm very happy that I have them away from the border of the pot, you know. Okay. Yeah, and in this case here, you can really see how much wood bark is actually in the soil. They put little pieces of wood bark into that original soil that we used to sow out. I often love to try around, like experiment with different kinds of soil. And in this case, it had a lot of root bark in it. It didn't really hurt the seedlings, but it's something that definitely kind of brings in additional risk for fungal infection, because I'm sure that actual wood, like little pieces of wood, there's a lot of mushrooms that would love to grow on that. But yeah, they would usually not damage the seedlings, or already damage the seedlings. So yeah, I'm transplanting them. I'm almost done. Just moving them to the new container. I haven't really planted them all. While I've been digging around, I found more seedlings, by the way, that have just come up just recently. Really small seedlings. They're maybe a few days old. Sometimes when you have a lot of seeds like sitting on one spot, you can have these delayed seedling germinations that then come up and don't have space to grow. That's what might have happened with that seedling. You know, you will never notice that there are more seedlings below that you haven't seen. Okay. All right. Yeah, and later today I will post another cactus flower time-lapse video. They are really, really good. I was so proud again, like with the video that I just posted, especially the ending. You know, it looks like the way the flower is opening up is really wild. I wish that there would be an easier system to post videos on social media like that with music, and not have continuously have problems with the music right companies, you know. I always use the system that they give you as a video creator, but in my opinion, like the system that they're using on Facebook, it's just wild. It's the Wild West. People come and you post a video and they claim 100% of your earnings just because of the music. And 50% is fair. I'm not going above that, or only in rare cases when I really feel like the music contributes excessively to my video. But I'm basically, it's a flower time-lapse video, you know. The music is a little bit of to add a little bit of, you know, it makes maybe 40-50% of the experience, but I'm not giving them that, like the 10 cents that I make with a video, you know. It's a continuous struggle to just survive with what I do, that I'm just not willing to budge on that, you know, because it's insulting. You know, you put all that work into making a video. I spent 2 days and nights filming that cactus flower opened of the earnings on Facebook. No, thank you. There are limits, and the limit is 50%. You know, I don't want to put down the importance of music in a video. You know, in a video like that, music is important. That is the border. So I might actually, from time to time, I might have to experiment with different artists that are a little fairer to the people who post the videos, who record the videos. But they will come. I will post more. 100%. This is criminal. And you know, you don't really have any kind of recourse, you know, because you can't even reach customer service with an actual reply if you are a creator. I've been creating stuff on Facebook for 15 years. I'm still waiting for them to reply to the huge problem that I had last time with them, with where they saved me as with a different name. So yeah, but on YouTube, I don't have these problems, apparently. System on YouTube seems to be fair. The way I understood it, it's 50-50. If you use music, I rarely do it, but with a time-lapse video, it's better with music. Okay, wanted to show you what I'm doing here. We're getting somewhere. I'm constantly moving the little seedlings, constantly trying to position them in a way that they have connection with the soil through the root. I would love to know where my pencil here. It's just easier with a pencil, but you need to be so much more careful about not injuring the little seedling when you transplant them. These are so tiny. If you touch them with a pencil, with the tip of the pencil, you will lose them. If you do it in the wrong angle, if you pierce the skin. So be careful there. And then you haven't really won something. Sometimes it can be better to leave the seedlings alone. If they are so small, the way they are now, sometimes it's better to leave them in a little longer. But in this case, I feel like they could really benefit from having a different soil. Sometimes you see seedlings that go nowhere in the old soil. Then you need to change. Something. Need to act. I pierced the seedling. I just try to press gently on the tip. It's not easy. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes the seedling recovers. I really have to keep an eye on this now. The moment you put this back into humidity, that little injury on the seedling can develop into something more serious. Fungal infection. Open wound. It's like when you have an open wound on the finger, like from a cactus, and then you walk around with latex gloves for the day. Within short time, you will have problems with the wound. At least that's how it is with me every time I do it. So putting something with a new injury in humidity is really dangerous. In this case, there's no way around it, though. They are just too small. That was okay. I like that. So check it out. I want to show you the fruit of my labor. I spread them out a little over the container. Have a little distance between them. And now they can go back into the bag. The old soil I don't use anymore. I could. There are probably no pests in it. If there would have been fungus gnats in it, they would have shown by now. So you could theoretically reuse the soil, but but if I would do it, I would only do it outside, outdoors, on plants that that I don't have in the house. If you reuse stuff in the house, it's just a good way to get an infection over the long term. Eventually, something will be infected, will have some sort of a pest on it, and then you spread it around. Okay, so I closed this up. This was Mamacita, by the way. These seedlings here. Acacia echinopsis hybrid Mamacita. Interesting hybrid. And it could be that the seedlings here are exactly like Mamacita. That the flower that come out and the body is basically a copy of the mother. That's what often happens with Acacia hybrids. I've seen some that were really different, but a large part of the Acacia hybrids came after the mother. It felt a little like self-fertility might play a role. Okay, these here I already shown you. Let's see, let's continue on the other side here. Okay, I can move this away again. Like this thing I don't need anymore. Okay, so let's have a look in this one. This is also Mamacita. Same kind of mother. Probably from a different fruit. Because these were sown out later. You can see these are very young. This is the first stage of cactus seedling life. Cactus life. Maybe 3 weeks old, 2-3 weeks old, not older. And they haven't grown much. They have germinated and a lot of them are green. That is something good. You got to appreciate that with all the variegated seedlings that we've seen. Apart from that, one of them looks variegated. It's not that they are all green, but at least there are some that are green. Apart from that, yeah, they need to stay in there right now. There is an age when it's safe to take them out, and they are way, way far away from it. So for now, they will stay in the bag. If I would have to guess, maybe 2 months. 2 months is a good time frame for these. In 2 months, they will probably have the size of this, roughly, if they grow normal. If they don't suddenly manifest some sort of a genetic defect, which often happens. So we will see. I mean, I have, like when I open containers, I have shown some that haven't grown in months. Not at all. Just exactly the way they were 2 months ago. And that is generally not a good sign. I would not waste too much time with those. A little bit time is okay. Keep them around maybe for a year. But if it's once it's going into the second year, then you got to ask yourself, do you really, you could, in this case, like if nothing grows after a year, I think I would graft it then. At that point, I think I would graft the seedling. A year is a good time frame for seedlings like this to grow. If nothing has happened within that time frame, then I would probably graft it to try to see if that helps. Then they must have some sort of a nutrient problem. In this case, very young seedlings too. Maybe 3 weeks, maybe a little bit older, but very few of them have any kind of spine. Here's a seedling on the right, and that seedling doesn't look good. I've just inspected that, and what stands out on the biggest seedling is that the root system looks like transparent. It has that very transparent look to it. It has lost the stability, meaning leaning over. And to me, this looks like fungus gnats. I haven't seen them, but the fact that they have damaged that one seedling to a point where we will lose it. And that is really a loss in this case, because that is the one seedling that actually had spines. So they really picked the one seedling that had potential. And I need to take it out now because actually these are not big enough to take them out of the bag. So what we only have two options, the way I see it. We could take out the seedling, take out the expired seedling, and hope for the best. That in the next 2 or 3 weeks, the seedling will grow a little bit more, that it is safe to transplant them. Or we could take them out now. And looking at the size, that isn't really promising, you know. If we take them out now, we would probably have some losses. So I'm considering the options here. The one thing that I want to do now is just remove that seedling because it's gone. The moment you have transparent base, seedling leaning over, lying there, lazy, it's a sign that you will not be able to save it. So check it out. It doesn't have a root anymore. That's probably why it is transparent, because something ate the root. So if this seedling were a little bigger, we might be able to save it even. Like if you have bigger seedlings where a pest eats the root, at a certain size you can reroot them. At a certain size, a little piece can even survive. You just have to treat the wound appropriately, callus the wound. You can't put it on the wet, like a fresh wound on wet soil. But if you invest a little bit time to callus that little wound that the seedling has, like where the root was, then you can reroot it. But in this case, it was too small. So yeah, what will we do here? Here's another seedling that's not okay. Let's take that out. Take that one out too. So that makes it 2 seedlings. It's not a good sign. Actually, I feel like taking them out of the bag. And it could be disastrous. Let's see what it is. That will help me decide. So this is a columnar hybrid cross of mine, and with a colorful father. Attempt to get a columnar cactus body and a good flower. Hard to tell what to do here. They are just too small. I think we need to leave them in a little longer. This is a bad situation because whatever path you choose, you will lose seedlings here, or you can lose seedlings. I really don't like how the soil looks here. I would love to take them out. I consider it. And in that case, you are instantly having issues to bring in all the water that they lose. They need a lot of water now. Like in the first couple of weeks when you take them out of the bag, that's when it's really dangerous. Like the first 2 days, you can already lose some. Yeah, but unfortunately, like if you have fungus gnats in there, then that will not really go well either to keep them in, because the fungus gnats will have the perfect conditions in a bag. Let's take it out because I'm not willing to lose seedlings here. I will let that dry, and I will let it dry out completely, and maybe that gives me maybe that dries out the fungus gnat, and then I could maybe put it back in humidity. If the fungus gnats don't survive, that could be a solution. So I will leave it out of the bag for now, but long term, this thing is really one of the more difficult ones. You could also transplant all the seedlings, but very often when you transplant, the fungus gnats come with the seedlings. They have sometimes already laid their nasty, disgusting eggs somewhere in the seedling. So it's hard to get rid of them once they are here, once they are on the seedlings. I had transplanted a lot of different cactus seedlings from one soil to another, and in quite a lot of them, the problems continued. So let's see if we can dry them out. Okay, so here, this is one of the containers that I discussed earlier, like just poor genetic health. Huncus roro, but there are one or two seedlings in between that give me hope, that allow me to, where I might be able to get a healthy plant from that. The other seedlings here, I've personally just signed off with, like I've given up on them. Not that they couldn't be saved, you could graft them, and I'm never saying you shouldn't. Personally, I say I wouldn't. I often wouldn't graft something that is unhealthy. If you talk about it from that point of view, it makes sense. Hybrid breeders are often criticized for having poor genetic health, for producing poor genetic health. And yeah, that is true. You have to kind of listen to that criticism and react to it by having healthy plants, by not keeping around the weak ones that might even have a virus. You sometimes have that one cactus or that one cross where everything looks weird, where everything looks sick. And that is the kind of stuff. Sometimes they have a virus. You can even transmit the virus from the mother plant through the seeds to the seedlings. The seedlings that come up can carry the same virus. So if something looks like horrible, then consider not wasting time with it. That's all I'm saying. I understand the special collectors for special cultivars, they love everything. I understand. But it's not really, you don't gain something if the plant is super unhealthy all the time. Okay. Yeah. The 1-2 seedlings in this one might give us hope long term. Let's have a look what we have here. And I'm always happy to take questions. Like I said, we are growing cactus seedlings, but I'm also taking all kind of questions. If not, I would just do stuff here. Always happy to be on the air to discuss this cactus, this amazing hobby. It's a good hobby that I'm happy to just to show here, to advertise, kind of, in a way. So yeah. Also a little unhealthy. A lot of seedlings in between that don't have a healthy skin color. Some green ones that give me hope. I will not really sort out the variegated seedlings because it's possible that some of them actually survive on their own root, and those would be okay. I wouldn't say that they might not still have a virus. You can have plants. You can have plants that look completely healthy, but they have a virus or more than one. It's like with people, you often can't see it. And not every virus causes problems for cacti. There are many different plant viruses that you can get, often transmitting with grafting. When you're grafting little seedlings, it's enough to have one sick plant. If you keep reusing the grafting stock, you can kind of keep that thing around and multiply plants that have that virus. A large part of the plants, like the known cultivars that have been heavily grafted, probably have at least one virus. And not all of them have that kind of tobacco mosaic virus kind of discoloration. That is just one of them. So yeah, and people just don't really, there's not a huge amount of science that you can look up about cactus viruses that don't even manifest in the body. A lot of people might not even know, even some scientists might not know what they cause, because a lot of people don't invest so much time with these plants. You really need someone willing to dedicate their life and really someone with a brain, like not me, you know? So yeah, apart from that, we will lose a lot of the variegated ones in here. Again, same approach, we could graft them, but the moment you graft something that looks this unhealthy, maybe you contaminate your grafting, be waste your time. Sometimes it pays off to do it, but it doesn't come without risk. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And they need to stay in there because the smaller ones, they are still not at a size where they can safely be taken out of the bag. Humidity, usually first 2 months, first 3 months, but since these have been growing so slowly, there hasn't been much growth at all on some. Yeah, these discoloration, skin discoloration needs to be, they have been fertilized. That was the first thing that I did when I took them out to combat, kind of to see if that discoloration is nutrient related, malnutrition related, or just variegation. Again, with all the hybrids that I have here, there's a high chance of variegation. It's just I just try to make these unusual crosses that can also backfire when you have something unhealthy. So this has gotten fertilizer. I will water it a little now. But apart from that, the seedlings look good. Seedlings are growing. Even the small ones look okay. Sometimes when you take out the seedlings, within the first days, the tiny ones, they look there, oh, you know, giving up, but not here. So that is a good sign. You always have to look at the smallest seedling in the pot, and that is the one that might need a little extra work if you want to bring it out. These look okay. A little bit too deep. And apart from that, a little bit, like you can see a slight reddish discoloration on some of the seedlings. Not all of them, but some. In this case, it's an indicator that they need water, and I will give it to them. Overall, I can really tell you, you would, like people that don't grow cactus seedlings would be surprised how much water they need. And it's not only with cacti. I see that with other plants too. A lot of people underestimate how much water plants that are actively growing actually need. So if I am in doubt, if I'm overwatering or underwatering, it's usually underwatering. It doesn't, you know, there's nothing that doesn't have exceptions. You know, there are no cases when you don't have the one situation where it's different, you know, where someone has been watering excessively, and that brings other problems like fungus gnats. But in general, if in doubt, very often it's just underwatering. So here, hey Robert, good morning. I'm sorry, I have only seen it now. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you. Yeah, just going through the seedlings here again, discussing stuff. Earlier I discussed my time-lapse stuff. Hope you like it. Yesterday I posted an Echinopsis hybrid called Goldrose. And there's also different spellings of the name. Sometimes it's called Gold Rosé, like with an accent on the E, above the E. I wasn't sure which one is the correct spelling, so I suppose it could be with the accent, but yeah, I'm calling it Goldrose. Hartmut Kellner hybrid, really good hybrid breeder from Germany, and yeah, I'm happy that I've shown it. That's great. Yeah, and I'm experimenting with the music. I've had issues on Facebook. I keep having issues on Facebook with the music. on YouTube, when I upload a video and put music over it, they give everyone 50%. They give the music guy 50% and the video guy gets 50%. And on Facebook, you often have weird companies. It seems to be very easy to claim the income of other people. You know, you always, when I post a video, when I post a time lapse there, I instantly have someone claiming to own the rights to that song and asking for 100% of the income, 100%, sometimes 80%. And that really bothered me. Like, you know, it is so much work to make the videos, to make the time lapse. I would rather put it on the internet without sound, and people can just, you know, there are these kind of systems where you can repost something officially and people can put music over it. But yeah, the system on Facebook, the system on Instagram, it's not good. They need to make it harder. You know, you have to have some sort of a fixed rate. I find it really offensive when they claim 100% of the income of a video that someone else, you know, like video is such a big important part of a reel. Just looking at it from two different sides. Music and the video, they make a good combination, but the music doesn't deserve 100%. That's offensive. So yeah, there might be I might have to experiment with the kind of music that I put on, is what I'm saying. Okay. So yeah, here are the seedlings. These have been transplanted into sowing soil, and I feel like it works very well for them. They look really healthy since since I've planted them in that soil. This is the size where it's safer to transplant them. If you can transplant them at this size, they often look good. Like within short time, they recover. They appreciate having new soil. They are already big enough to survive that kind of transition between being in a bag and having the normal humidity in a house. So I will water them. They do not look like they need more water, like they have been kind of dehydrating. I'm not seeing that with the seedlings here, so that is great. Here's one that we need to work, that we need to take apart. Too many seedlings in one pot, and these will be transplanted sometime soon. I'm trying to, you could split that up into 4 containers, and it might not be enough. So we will see. Just watering it, because I can see that some of the seedlings at the top here, they have gone smaller. They have become a little smaller than the other seedlings. They also have a slight dark discoloration, not reddish, but dark. These have been very dehydrated before, and I try to nurse them back. I've been watering them, like where I try to water targetedly, and that has improved the situation for those seedlings a little bit. This here, bad situation, bad kind of too deep, you know? You see how deep they are in the pot, and it wasn't like that. At some point when you keep watering it and keep watering, you just lose soil through the pot. Oh yeah, I live very near to an airport, a very small airport, but we have a lot of American planes that are flying over too. So yeah, that often, like when they are doing an exercise here, a local exercise, it becomes so loud, like they're flying over the house maybe 10 times a day. I just live at a hotspot and it doesn't really bother me. Like the planes and plane flying over, I'm not really heavily bothered by the noise. It's always interesting to see a plane over the garden, you know, or a helicopter. So I'm not really worried about it. Yeah, in this case, I think we need to at some point need to do something. They are just too deep. I don't like that. They need to be transplanted at some point, but right now they are still a little bit dehydrated. Like they look like they have gotten too much light. So maybe having a little bit more shade down there might not be a bad idea. But I want to transplant them when they have recovered. Very soon. I'm not happy with the situation here. This is half a pot. I always try to fill the pot up. But in the beginning, you know, when you try to save, you try to conserve a little bit of soil here and there, and then you realize you have only filled it 2/3. And 2/3, if you have only 2/3 of the soil in the pot, a little bit always gets lost, like later washing down, and then it's getting less and less. So in this case, we need to do something eventually. These here, yeah, too many need to be singled out. I could single out. I could have the whole house full of seedlings. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm currently, you know, I'm out. I'm filming, cleaning the greenhouses, posting a few time lapses here and there, and I'm also, like yesterday, I was trying to film the buzzard that was flying over, like actual buzzards, actual birds. Was really impressive. They're huge, and they've been hunting yesterday. It was so windy that it was impressive that they could even stay up in the air. But I always love to see them. I love to see them when they're not trying to eat the chickens of the neighbor that I have right in front of my house. But apart from that, they're so amazing. Really big birds. You can see that you have a little dinosaur there, like with the claws, huge claws. And so yesterday I tried to film them a little, and I caught a few videos of them where they were just flying directly over the big oak trees. I really liked that yesterday. Unfortunately, we are losing some of them because of chemical rodent control. A lot of people use chemicals against rodents here, and unfortunately, they are affected. So I've been always talking about that, trying to make people aware of that, because they are so amazing animals that they need to be protected. That people need to stop using that kind of stuff, because it ends up in the ecosystem. It ends up in other animals. Okay, so let me continue here. In this case, we have to take them out. This is one of the very few containers where I had transplanted in washed pumice. Washed pumice is a great mineral for cactus growing. You can really grow little cactus seedlings in there very easily. It is safe, sometimes safer than more organic soil, because it allows you to have like the drainage is so good, so you won't have that humid soil that stays wet for many weeks. You don't have that with pumice. The moment we take that out of humidity, the stuff dries out. So in this case, but I saw that there was a seedling that expired here. Maybe from before, like from the transplanting. When I was transplanting the seedlings into the washed pumice, because they have already had problems. Problems with fungus gnats. And now I feel like they are big enough to take them out. At some point, it's just safer to take them out. At some point, you see more and more problems coming up, like what I saw now with the seedling that expired, you know? So at some point, you need to take them out, and that point is now for us here, for this container. I just want to correct the position of a few seedlings here to make sure that they are not lying sideways, you know? Like with washed pumice The structure is a little bit roundish. Pumice is very, very, very light, and you can easily change the position of seedlings by just picking up a container. They are just not very firmly in that thing. So I try to correct a little bit now, because now when I take them out, they will need a good connection to the soil, because they need to take in water now. When you have them in a bag, they get water through the air, a little bit at least. And once you take them out, then that goes away. So if the root doesn't have a good connection, then you will lose the seedling. So yeah, taking them out now, starting to fertilize. They should have been fertilized already. So yeah, but the seedlings look healthy. They don't really have that bad discoloration. I just kept them in a bag for longer because the pumice is so fast draining, because the pumice can be such a fast draining medium. Okay, so I will move this away because I want to do some seed stuff that I want to get out of the way. Let me see. I have a few containers here. A few pieces of kitchen paper with cactus seeds on them. So let's bag them up. So over here, a lot of cactus seeds, and these got mixed, unfortunately. That's why I'm bagging them now. This shouldn't have happened in the first place. But when you have this kind of paper towel stuff lying around, it's just bad. So I will try to clean these up. I have to label them as a mix. And I really regret it. I really, really regret it, because there are many seedlings that I would have want to focus on. You know, you can't then you have like a huge bag of seeds, but you only want seedlings from that one batch. So I'm not sure what to do here. Once they got mixed, you can't really unmix them. That's done. That's over. So for now, I will just bag them up. This is from a plant called Gräserserfolg Entsetzbestäubung, a Aporo-Candicans hybrid, a ruffled Gräser follow-up hybrid, ruffled flowers. The flower is reddish, really interesting flower. And in this case, it got mixed probably with a columnar plant, columnar trichocereus. So I'm really unhappy about it. I brought me a few new seed bags and a pen, and I will write that on the bag. Potential mix. Mystery seeds. I hate it. I hate when that happens. It shouldn't happen. So in the future, if I start doing something here with seeds, I will finish it. And to tell you a little bit about the parents here, I said Aporo Candicans hybrid. That means hybrid between Aporo cactus flagelliformis, and Sörensia candicans. There are many different hybrids around that all go back to a breeder called Gräser, German breeder called Robert Gräser. Looking back, like historically, he's a famous guy, highly respected. The breeder of Gräsers schönste, Gräserserfolg. Just trying to write something on there that I understand. Mix. Okay, so this will be a lesson that I'm not doing that again. Trying to not lose track of the seeds. There are just too many seeds when you're a cactus breeder. And I'm doing my best to keep an eye on everything. I also use this tray in case something falls down. Hey, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Great to have you. Yeah, I've been causing a huge mess again here. So I'm cleaning up, trying to get this out of the way so it doesn't happen again. I just don't have a long memory. Like with the Lyme, with the tick bites and all. Memory is so bad that I forget that I have seeds somewhere. And then when I try to clean the table, I lift it up and you drop the seeds very often. So I try to get them away now. When I start cleaning something, I need to finish. I need to bag it up. So this is Flying Dragon Cantora. Not a big fruit, but the flower was really good. Cleaning up a little here now. Just getting rid of everything that isn't supposed to be in there. Anything that isn't seeds. Flying Dragon. Yeah, the parentage is unknown. Unknown parentage. Potentially Sorensia Camagensis hybrid, but not sure, not proven. My theory. I don't really, it doesn't matter. Very often you have these hybrids that are multi-hybrids that already have different parents involved. So it doesn't really matter that much. It's not a huge thing, a huge issue. What it is, the flower is great. In my opinion, you can see the thin body. Like if you look at Flying Dragon, it has a diameter like this. In the first years, it is very thin, very slender, much more slender than Candicans, than Chicken-Dancy, than most of the other hybrids. It's just, to me, it is obvious when looking at the body that you have an unusual kind of species that was used. That's why it looks so unique. If you look at the flower, the shape is different, very different to Cantora flowers. Very different to the flowers of Sorensia Schaffery that I've shown. Sorensia Schaffery, also very different kind of flower. Also big, but they open differently. If you look at the position of the petals and the sepals of Sorensia camagensis, they are opening up widely. It gives a very wide impression of a flower. And due to the fact that the sepals open up so widely, you have an immense diameter, which explains the big diameter of Flying Dragon. So yeah, but I don't really care. It's not something where I'm really invested in the idea, where I really have to know what it is. I could just leave that hybrid as an unlabeled hybrid. It's also okay. I have a few Sorensia camagensis. I have them because of that flower, because I appreciate that flower shape, and I recognize that shape. I have intentionally sought out Sorensia camagensis for breeding. Former Trichocereus camagensis. It's an interesting species that I want to use for breeding. So I have 2 or 3 plants, like big ones. They haven't been flowering because they keep breaking off. It's just something that species does. But at some point I will have flowers again. They last flowered maybe 2022. So yeah, last year I repotted. Maybe we will get flowers this year. Okay, so I'm cleaning the seeds here because the seeds were a little dirty. I didn't like that. And I'm constantly just rolling them around on a piece of paper, just trying to get rid of all that stuff that is with the seeds here. Really trying to clean this up well. This is too dirty. I want to clean them again a second time under running water. So for these cases, when I start cleaning and I feel like the soil isn't clean enough, I put them in a paper bag. And this will go underwater again, running water. Later today, I will clean these in a sieve. Just making sure that I don't sort out viable seeds here when I was cleaning. You always find one or two that have accidentally fallen down. Okay. So this will go, this will get washed again. Okay. I'm just writing something on the label here that I'm not. By the way, yesterday I had a total nervous breakdown because I tried finding a pen that was writing, and I had 3 or 4, and none of them, like they just stop working. You know, like I have new pens that I tried to use for the first time, and they were already empty or dried up. I don't know. So I'm writing with pencil again. Flying Dragon, Cantora 14.3, hybrid by Walter Stocker. And this was, let me see what I wrote on the piece of paper. Because I wrote the position of the flower somewhere. Wrote down that something was the left or the right. Left flower. Left fruit. Left fruit of that plant. I wrote that down, and I want to clean them again. Next time we will have them here again, and then hopefully everything will be cleaner. Sometimes you just start cleaning and you realize enough that doesn't go anywhere. Okay, next one. This is a hybrid called Feathers. Really good one with kind of ragged kind of flowers, feathery flowers. Uwe Kahler hybrid. One of the favorites of Uwe. I really like them. But genetically not so healthy. Genetically it is similar to Super Apricot. Super Apricot is a hybrid by Anton Mars between an Echinopsis hybrid called Apricot and a, what was it? Super Gelb. Super Gelb was involved. Super Gelb, a hybrid by Robert Gräser. Also, the same Gräser that we discussed earlier. Super Gelb's also one of those hybrids, like Aporo candicans, and I believe that he crossed it with Sörensia fateri to get that hybrid, or some kind of Aporo candicans fateri hybrid. Carries the, like Super Gelb that is involved here in this one, carries the same kind of ragged flower genetics that Super Apricot has. And in this case, it has the same genetic unhealthiness. Sometimes you get viable seeds, sometimes not. Sometimes you get pollen, sometimes you don't get pollen, you know, that kind of stuff. And it depends on what kind of a plant you use as a father when you pollinate the flower. If you pollinate the flower with the right parent, with the right father, you can get healthy offspring. Like in this case, we have seeds, you know. But we have to grow them to find out if this is actually going to be healthy or not. So I'm cleaning them now. Want to clean them. This is actually a fair amount of seeds for this kind of plant. Compared to Super Apricot, that original kind of hybrid with the ragged flower. Compared to that one, this is insane. Like with Super Apricot, over the years, I think I had maybe one or two times when the seeds were perfectly healthy. Usually when I use Super Apricot as a mother, you wait 2 months for the fruit to ripen, and the seeds, there are no seeds in there or no viable seeds. Super Apricot really one of the plants that I, over the years, have really camped, have been really disappointed in. Like my enthusiasm about that plant has calmed. I'm really a little bit disappointed in the offspring that you get from Super Apricot. And in this case, we're going in a different direction. The plant here that is the mother plant of these seeds, it has a different kind of body, more like multi-hybrid body. There's Echinopsis involved, but also Trichocereus, Sorensia. You have a very interesting family tree in this case here. So yeah, this could be that one hybrid cross where the offspring both has a nice flower and is also healthy. That would be amazing. And I know a lot of people might get the impression that most of the hybrids that we're growing here are unhealthy, but that isn't the truth. It's just that I focus on the more complicated crosses, so there are always one or two, or maybe a few more that have a tendency to not work, to be incompatible. So, but in general, if you look at all the plants that we have here, all the seedlings, most of them are very healthy, like really healthy. And you, like if you look at like in dog breeding, you know, like that whole field of dog breeding, the mixed breeds, they are often healthier than the ones where you have a completely where the family tree is just that one type, where you really have something that is pure to the species, you know, like with botanical species. There are some botanical species that are fairly unhealthy due to the fact that there isn't a huge gene pool around anymore for those in nature, or you have a few famous populations, but they are slowly disappearing due to landscaping, that kind of stuff. So you can have that genetic unhealthiness even more sometimes with the pure species, or with the hybrid crosses, where you really have a limited kind of type of, where both the mother and the father are similar, are close. Let's say you are trying to do a F2 hybrid cross, could also produce fairly unhealthy offspring. So yeah, I'm cleaning this here, trying to get back the seeds that I overlooked in the first time. If I would have to guess, maybe 150 seeds here. And the parents are G15, Supergelb, Herzdame, Dagati, and something else. I forgot one of the parents in the family tree, but that is how many different parents are involved in just that one plant. Already has a very complicated family tree. And the mutation with the yellow, this has yellow flowers that look like feathers a little bit. And that mutation almost certainly comes from Supergelb. So if you try to have that kind of experiment with them, breeding with them, it can make sense to cross with Supergelb too. I have that hybrid. I have it in my greenhouse, and it hasn't flowered very often. I actually have the original plant that Robert Gräser had, like the original large headpiece that they had, that came from his collection. But yeah, it hasn't flowered. Hasn't flowered in a while. The original plant, at some point I took cuttings and all that, you know. Hasn't flowered in a while. Maybe we can propagate it this year. But it would be better if it's just flowering. I would really love to have that. Would prefer that, you know. So yeah, I will finish this thing here, this type of seed. And then later I will end the stream, probably another 10 minutes or so. Always happy to take questions. If not, I'll just discuss the stuff that has happened or that I'm doing, that I want to do. The classic cactus breeder stuff on the channel. Today I will post another time-lapse video probably. Today or tomorrow. I mean, I just posted it yesterday. I uploaded it yesterday, but I only changed the status to public today. So I already posted one, but I might post another. Just so we're kind of posting the good stuff that I filmed. Okay. Yeah, cleaning more and more. And every time I'm rolling the seeds back and forth here, there's a lot of stuff that stays in center. Stuff that isn't seeds. Seeds are roundish, they roll around easily. And the stuff that doesn't roll around on my piece of paper here, I take that out. I don't want to, when I start sowing out, I only want to sow out viable seeds and nothing else. And sometimes when you're cleaning seeds, you can have contaminations. But this is okay here. I'm happy with the results so far. I always feel if the seeds are viable. You can touch, like when you touch the seeds, you should feel if there's a substance, like if they have some sort of a substance to them, or if they just are flat, feel empty. And that can really tell you if a seed's viable or not, just by touching it. So many seeds are not fully developed, and they often come up as these little sick seedlings that don't really go anywhere. So we might not need them. You know, sometimes it's good to sort them out. Okay. So this will be bagged up. Very happy that this is finally in the bag. Then I cannot forget about it and throw that thing into the room. It's just very common that, you know, cleaning cactus seeds takes a few days. So very often you have stuff somewhere and you forget about it. That has happened to me so often, and I try to stay on top of it. Okay. Dropped 1 or 2 seeds here, but that's okay. We have enough. Okay, cactus seeds. Multi-hybrid, Sörensia, Aporocandicans hybrid, that kind of stuff. So feathers, we will sow them out. We will sow them out, a few of them, and then we will decide what to do with the others. Maybe spread a few to people who also want to grow them. So that is good. Okay. Oh, then I wanted to, let me show you this again, by the way. This is feathers. This is the plant. This is the mother plant. And I want to put that on a piece of, like, in a pot with washed pumice. Washed pumice is a great medium for rooting cactus seedlings or for rooting cacti. And I brought this here, and I just want to put that on top of the pumice here, and that's how I would slowly let it adapt to the new soil. You need to be careful here in a case like this, because if you have a fresh cut, which I did here, I had to remove something, infection from the greenhouse. So when you have a fresh cut, you always have to make sure that when you water, you don't really fuel an infection. Any wound needs to be calloused. It's the same when you have a little injury on a finger. It always needs a little time until it's safe to have water there again. And that is the same with the cactus seedlings or with the cacti that you have to cut. Sometimes we remove an infection. Infections can often, if they happen locally, we can take them out and nothing happens. You can then safely root the plant again. And that's what I'm trying here. So this will stay inside for now. I will start watering this very soon, but not now. Maybe in 3 weeks. I had it under a lamp to kind of callus the wound. And in this case, yeah, it looks good. The wound is healed, at least if I don't do something that will allow the fungus to come back, or that allow the infection that I removed to come back. So for now, this could work. Like the way it is now, this might even work in a greenhouse. But the more recent that injury was, that little removal that you did, the more likely it is that you will have problems when you put it in humidity, like in a greenhouse. So in the next 2 months, I need to be careful about the humidity. Gotta be careful not to have that thing in high humidity. Otherwise, it can become infected. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure where I will put it. If it will go to the greenhouse or if it will go, like, stay inside, because the moment you have it inside and you need to water, but there's a limit of water that a fresh wound can have, that you can get to a fresh wound. So it might be necessary to have that plant now in a little bit colder setting, not really room temperature, but not too cold. Can't be humid, can't be too cold, maybe 10-15 degrees Celsius, and just letting it root for a little without watering too much, just waiting until it has until it is used to the harder setting outside of humidity. Like, you often need to invest a little bit more time to get wounds to a point where they will not start to rot once they get humidity or once they get water. Okay, yeah, I think this is a good kind of ending for my stream. I had fun. Had to clean up the pumice. Like, this is a good example. When you have stuff in washed pumice or in a mineral medium, the mineral stuff will always come out of the pot. Always. This stuff is so loose that you will never not have that stuff around. You will always work around that. Right now, this is my desk. I have that in front of my, where I'm breathing. So really try to avoid that with working too much with pumice. But there are situations when it is really necessary. Hey, thank you. Thank you, guys. Had a lot of fun today. I appreciate that you are always here. And I also appreciate everyone who randomly finds the stream. Today we had cases when suddenly 20, 30 people were watching. And for such a little hobby stream like what we are doing, this is great. I like that. I like to be found suddenly. I enjoy when people are just finding a new hobby, because it's a great hobby, and I hope that we can fascinate a few more people with this cool thing. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for today's stream. I will be back tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, everyone. Take care, Robert. Everyone, thank you guys. I greatly appreciated that. Okay, thank you. I'll be back.